Welcome to 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗡𝗍𝗏's Academy's YouTube channel. I'm 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗲𝗏, Senior Trainer at 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗡𝗍𝗏's Academy. In our today's video, I'm going to discuss about the concept of how to develop a digital marketing strategy for business growth. And just recently, in fact, yesterday, I had an opportunity to give a lecture at one of the digital marketing clubs in Hyderabad. So the same concept what I have delivered the lecture there, that topic I'm going to cover in this particular session. And it may not be a single video. We have to divide this topic into multiple videos so that you can able to understand the subject of strategy, how we develop the strategy, what are the different aspects of the strategy in detail. So by the end of this topics which we are going to cover, you will be in a position to develop your own digital marketing strategy, whether your business is small or is it large or any kind of business you have, you can able to develop the strategy. But condition is you have to follow the instructions clearly and you have to follow the proper step-by-step process which I will explain. Then only you are going to understand this subject. Now, first of all, what is our agenda for this topics? What we are going to cover in this entire series of videos? First thing we are going to study is what is the strategy basics. Then know your company and business. If you're offering this for a third-party client, because many of the people who are my subscribers are either job seekers or who are already doing a job, as well as a lot of you are entrepreneurs and business owners. For them, you have to know the company, you have to know the business, how to qualify a business, and many factors. We are going to discuss about this aspects. Then define your buyer persona. It's actually persona. So what is basically buyer persona is, it is about the aspect of who is the buyer, how do we identify the buyer, then how to set the SMART goals. What is meant by the strategy of how do we set the SMART goal? That is one topic we have discussed. Then build an action plan. So go for low hanging fruit first, then define the short-term strategy and define the long-term strategy. So this will be the various action plans we have to implement. And finally, we are going to work on measuring the results and then improving the results. So let's go ahead and discuss our first section module of our topic. There is a quote: a fool with a plan can beat a genius with no plan. And it is true, many times it happens, like a lot of digital marketers are there, but they don't have any knowledge or any idea of how to build a plan. They randomly do various things. In fact, you may have come across a lot of people, randomly they can do things, but they cannot make a structure, they cannot make a proper plan of action. That is where the issue is. Now if you take a person who doesn't have any idea about digital marketing or as a beginner, but if he have a plan of action, he can beat a person with many years of experience who doesn't have a plan of action. So it's very crucial that we should have a proper plan of action, and according to that plan of action we have to implement and we have to work. So that is the reason why this topic I'm going to cover is that the concept of strategy is very critical for a business. So let us learn about the strategic point of view of digital marketing. Now next we have is what is a strategy. Now we say always hear the word strategy, 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 but what is a strategy? What is the meaning of a strategy? Or very simple, a plan of action to achieve our defined marketing goals for business is called as a strategy. In other words, we can say in this way that if I am developing a set of actions, for example, I got a project and I set up actions like this is step 1, this is step 2, this is step 3, this is step 4, this is step 5. All this I want to achieve in a sequential or in a specific manner. That is what we actually define. Those are our actions. Those are our actions which you have to implement. So these actions is nothing but a plan of action which we want to achieve a goal, which we want to achieve a result, is actually called as a strategy. Now why we need the strategy? Now one very important aspect. Now I have learned in a recent book I was reading, I learned this very interesting concept in the book. The book says that our life and also a lot of things in our business, a lot of things in our real-time world, they work as a GPS system. Now how they work as a GPS system, let's say from here, let's say from 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗡𝗍, Hyderabad, I want to go to a place, let us say to Charminar, for example. Now if I don't know the location, all I need to do is in my maps I have to just open where I am right now, and the to address is already there. I need to just enter the from address. From is already there. I have to enter the true address. So from here to particular location. So what I will do is I will enter in the my location equal to web trainings, and I want to go to Charminar. So what GPS system will do? Contacting various satellites, it's going to give us the path and say this is path A, this is path B, this is path C. You can go in that direction. In the same way, when we talk about a strategy and a plan and an action plan, what are we actually doing here is we are defining what do you want to achieve with this planning. When you are doing digital plan, what is your goal? Why you are doing the digital planning? So when we define our digital plan, a strategy, then when we progress, we get different problems, different issues. That is fine, but we can able to overcome them and reach our final destination. So that is it. For example, if I take a project and I tell to the client that maybe in 6 months, this is our action plan, and 6 months we will achieve something, then the client will also understand, okay, so 6 months these people are going to do so and so, and they will be supporting us, they will be giving all the required resources because you have a proper action plan. So that is why don't worry about the difficulties we get, but set up your actual where you want to go, and that is where you have to set up your plan of action, A, B, C, all this plan of actions which you have to implement. That I'm going to cover what are the plan of actions, how we are, as we progress we will discuss about that topic. Now that is a strategy. In short, a strategy is a plan of action. Another question then, sir, what is a campaign? What is a digital campaign? A lot of people say, can you develop a digital campaign? Now what is a digital campaign? Is various techniques or ideas which we develop, which we generate to achieve this. For example, one client came to us and the client says, we are let's say a motorcycle, a car dealership, and we want to create brand awareness. So let's say our team will develop one strategy. The develop a campaign. The campaign is we will not try to sell the car to the consumer, but the campaign is road safety campaign. And what we do in that is, for example, we will develop a plan of action where to Facebook user, to Instagram users, we will create a series of videos, we create some series of pictures and infographics to explain everyone about the road safety concept. So then they will realize, okay, this is very, very important. Like that, the branding of the company will happen. Now see, no one is going to sell the product directly to you in today's world. Indirectly, you have to implement some various campaigns, and that campaign will lead to the result. You may have also seen in offline world, a lot of big brands and companies, they create example, recently I saw one ad of Lifebuoy on the in the newspaper. They said this is issued in the public interest. This ad is in public interest, and they say to avoid this coronavirus, you have to do these so and so things. If you are having so and so problems, immediately consult a doctor. Always use a soap, and they say there clearly, it doesn't matter whether you use a Lifebuoy soap or you use a Lux soap or any soap, but you have to use a soap. Like that, they say whenever you are getting in contact with anyone, just try to wash your hands, something like that. So that is a campaign. So the campaign goal was not to sell you Lifebuoy soap, but people will register the brand name in the mind. Okay, this is very good brand which is trying to create awareness. That is called as a campaign. A campaign is nothing but a method by which you want to reach to your target audiences and you want to achieve your target goal which you set for a long term. That process is nothing but a campaign. A strategy is a long-term period goal, and which is the main objective of our company. And campaign are small individual pieces where in individual networks we can develop the campaign. I hope you understood this concept of what is a strategy, what is a campaign. Now module now. And one more important thing, a lot of digital marketers has this very big issue and a problem. The problem and issue is simply this, that many of digital marketers doesn't have any idea, okay, about the process involved in understanding the business. And a lot of digital marketers struggle to build a campaign. If you go to any company, what they will immediately ask you is, they give you a project and say, develop a campaign. This is the target audience, this is the budget, and so. Develop a campaign and come back to us. But problem is, a lot of digital marketers don't have MBA background, so they cannot be able to develop that PowerPoint presentation or a Word document presentation, and they fail in the. This is commonly happens. So what we have to focus, what we have to do here is, first of all, when you start a digital strategy, when you want to implement a digital strategy, buyer persona will come next. First thing we have to do as a digital marketer is understand the business of the client. Now, when I'm talking about, if you're an entrepreneur listening to this session, so you should think about you as a client and your business as your analysis, where you're not going to consider you're not working for someone. So you should consider this as a question to you. Understand the business of the client means I have to understand my own business. So why we have to understand the business? What do you mean by understanding the business of the client? It's just one point there, but let me clarify this point in detail. Understanding the business of the client means you have to know what kind of product or a service or the package or an app or whatever it may be is the client selling, or is it a service, is it a product? Then you have to also understand in detail about the nature of the business. You see, sometimes what happens that I don't agree with the nature of the business, so I don't want to take that business. I'll give you an example. We get a lot of times certain clients will come to us, and those clients will say, they will ask for, they will say that, we want to do marketing for a certain kind of product. Now let me give you a product, for example. Most commonly, which are mostly fake in the market, are weight loss and weight gain products. Like, every person develop their own formula. Most of them are not really effective. So they create a weight gain or a weight loss product, and it is not scientifically tested also. So what they will try to do is, they try ask you for a help to do digital marketing. So once we analyze the project, we see whether the project is really something which is scientifically proven products they are using, or some general products. So I will see that, and I will find, okay, they are not scientifically proven, or in terms of some cases, what we say is, it's not really a great product. Like, sometimes we get a clients for MLM marketing, multi-level marketing. So even those kind of projects also we simply reject, because of MLM marketing. I don't trust, I don't believe in that kind of business model. So I don't promote that kind of business model. So understand the business of the client. What is this a business? What is the nature of the business? What kind of activities they do in the business? That is the first point you have to always ask before you take the project. That's understand the client very clearly. Number two, qualify the client early. Most of the digital marketers, specifically, okay, who are business owners or digital agencies they are running, or they are into freelancing, one of the worst thing you are going to do is not qualifying the client early. Now, what do you mean by qualifying a client? Now, I'll give you one example of this with a general example. You will understand more easily. Let us assume one bride and one groom. All right. Let's say, for example, the bride side or the groom side, anyway, they will have certain aspects and preferences, right? Let's say the preference of the bride side is that the groom must be a NRI or from US or some other place. He must be a software engineer. He must be so and so. He must have a green card, something. Now, let's say if they start the discussion, and if they don't qualify this basic question, the basic point, that whether the person is an NRI or not, whether he is a software engineer or not, whether he's living in US or not, or any other place, you see, immediately you have to disqualify that. Because what happens, if you have a discussion and you're discussing, there is no point of that, which means we have to first of all understand whether this client is feasible for our business or not. Or sometimes what happens is, maybe your business is not feasible to offer client to service to a certain client based on their expectation. That is also sometimes happens. This is true. Okay, some companies come to you where they say, we want advertising, we want traditional marketing, we want digital marketing, we want web development, app development, A to Z, but from one company. Now, because I don't offer A to Z services, including traditional marketing, so I have to say, sorry, sir, we don't have A to Z, but we are specialized only in digital. So we qualify. Now, I'll tell you sometime what happens. A lot of time I have noticed, sometimes we think that the client is very big. Okay. And I will take all the details. We do a lot of research, this, that, and all the stuff. And after doing so much of analysis, so much of stuff, like say, sometimes for some clients, I spend 5 to 6 hours of detailed analysis and develop and all. At the end, what I see is the person is not qualified as a business for our company. Example, we will charge you, say for example, our agency charges minimum 25 to 30,000 for any basic project per month. Now the client budget was 10,000. Imagine I already spent so much of time in researching, analyzing and all that, and at the end we didn't get the lead, and lead is there, but it is not feasible for us to offer the project, offer the service to the client. So see, I have lost my time. So as a freelancer, as a business owner, what you do is, as a digital marketer, whenever the client will come to you, qualify the client early, ask him about the budget, how much he is interested to spend, about what are the various expectations he have, what are the various investments he can do. We will qualify the client by understanding the business of the client. This is very, very important. Next, understand the potential of the business. See, sometimes what happens, certain businesses will come to you, but they don't have a potential to grow. Example, let's say if someone is selling a t-shirt online. Now, problem with this kind of business, let's see potential. What we will think potential is, in billions of dollars, because everyone wear clothes and t-shirts is very popular. But problem here is, you understand his business perspective. For example, if you sell one t-shirt, how much is the profit? You ask him, are you the manufacturer? He will say, no sir, I'm not the manufacturer, I'm importing, or I'm taking it from some other place. Now what is the profit margin? You ask him, he will say maybe 100 or 150 rupees is profit margin. But the question will be immediately, is there a potential is, if I do one sale, I'm going to make 150 rupees, which is approximately $2. Now think about it, for $2 or 150 rupees, how much effort you have to keep in the back end in digital marketing to get one lead or one sale. Now you see here, this business is not viable, it's not feasible, we cannot really work on this kind of potential business. So we have to know the potential of the business. Like if I have another client, let's say example, if the client closed one sale, he is able to make some thousands of rupees or say hundreds of dollars, then what happens, it is feasible and viable for us to take a project. Example, say if you have got a client as a clinic or a doctor. Now see, a doctor has various kinds of services, and the services are pretty good and expensive. Now if I close one client for the doctor, maybe they have a consulting fees in the beginning, but later on if you go with surgery or something, that one client can convert. If it is converted properly, it can give us the return on investment for the doctor. So we will see the potential of the business also. But suppose if for your own business, you don't need to bother about it, you have to anyway do that business, because end of the day you have to get the leads, you have to get the sales. That is the potential of business you have to identify. And also see for the client, what are their present marketing activities, what are they doing right now? Are they doing social media? Are they doing Facebook? What are the different activities are they doing? Or have they given the project to someone else? Have they did any work on that? It's very crucial. You have to know all these details before you even proceed for doing the project. Then what are the shortfalls of the company? In simple terms, shortfalls is, what are the drawbacks of the companies right now? Are they doing some work, but are they doing it actually in the proper way? Do they have any ORM issues? Do they have any technical problems in their website? Do they have any reputation problems in the online? I'll give you a good example. A lot of people think that they are doing social media. How do they think they are doing social media? Is randomly they will pick up pictures from Google. If there is a specific day, for example, it's Independence Day, they'll go to Google Independence Day and they will type, they get a flag picture, right? And will put a logo on the right or left, and they will upload on social media. And we'll say, yeah, this is social media we are doing, but no result we are getting. But is that really social media marketing, right? Just copying some image from Google and pasting it on website. Is that social media? No. Social media is something more advanced, something more creative, correct? So the point is, the company may be doing something, but they don't know about it very clearly, or the company where they are hiring may not know clearly. So for that reason, the shortfalls, like where are they lacking? What are their problems? What are their pain points? Also, we can say all these aspects we have to understand. And then finally, very important concept, competitor analysis and the strategies which competitors are using. What happens generally is, certain industries are extremely competitive. Now you may not even think about getting into that niche, okay, or getting into that for a small client. Example, if I get an insurance client, He says, I'm an insurance agent. I want to rank for a keyword health insurance all over India, for example. Now, when I see the competition level, when I see who are the competitors, they will be the topmost companies in India, banks and insurance companies who have huge budgets in investing in PPC, who have huge budgets for social media, and more important, they will have a very big team working on their SEO campaign on the back end. Now, think about it, and their budgets will go into lakhs of rupees. So, can I really, for a keyword like health insurance, can I really offer the service to a client? Now see, this is not viable, not feasible for me. So I will tell him, boss, not possible, because of the competition level is so high in this range that I'm sorry, but it is not possible because of the difficulty level. For example, if I tell you a simple example, we have a lot of famous actors, right? Famous directors. Now, let's say actor is there. Let's say Amitabh Bachchan is one actor. Now, if this actor, if some newcomer comes into the market and he says that I will break the record of Amitabh Bachchan, so you will laugh at him. You say, what are you talking about? All right, it's not possible to break the record so easily because he's a very big star. Now, similarly, when there are already top 10 websites with extremely high value and extremely high value of their website and metrics, now it's not easy for a new coming site to just go and beat them. Unless you are from a big background, your website is also very powerful website, that is fine. But smaller companies or just started companies, they have no chance to get into this segment and beat the big brand. So we have to do the competitor analysis as well before we even think about taking the project, and also understand what are your competitors doing, right? Are they doing SEO? How they are doing? Are they doing PPC? How they're doing? Are they doing social media? How are they doing? Try to understand that aspect, so that will give a very clear idea, a clear picture of how to implement our strategy in the next stage. So knowing your company is nothing but understand about the business, understand about the potential of the business, understand about what marketing activities are they doing, understand where are they lacking, what are the problems they are facing, and then also see what are the competitors and what are the strategies they use, and then you can qualify your client easily. This is the stage number one. To first, before you do anything, before you go and do the Facebook, generally what happens, I'll tell you, most of the digital marketers, like any client will call, they'll say yes, yes sir, I will do SEO, PPC, social media. But what will you get with by doing it? Because you don't have a proper plan of action. Then if I just do PPC, SEO, social media, how would I really judge and see where will I be in after 1 or 2 years of hard work, right? So don't do like that. Don't just take any project and implement SEO, because you have to see the feasibility, you have to see whether it is possible or not possible for the client, and based on that you have to make a decision. So this is our first topic of our discussion, which is know your company, know the company and their business model and business concept. Now moving on to the next important segment. Now next important segment of our discussion is define client's buyer persona. This is so important. All right, why is it important? Now I have to know to whom I want to market, because see, marketing is not a one directional concept. I cannot directly do some SEO, PPC and get the result. No, it's a two directional strategy, where I should know what is the gender. I should know who exactly we are talking about, and based on that I have to do the marketing. All right, so in buyer persona, there is actually, you can also go to Google and type, one tool is provided by HubSpot. So you can type HubSpot buyer persona tool. You get a tool where you can enter all the important aspects and you get a buyer persona setup. But I'm going to explain in a very simple way. As per our general concept, we don't try to make things complicated, we'll make it easy. So if you see, first aspect is gender. Who are your target audience? What is their gender? What is their age? What is their education? Where are they living? Because see, again, the client where he lives has a very big impact on your marketing perspective. So location, what is their income? Because according to income, the buyer persona will change. Interest, what are they interested in? Habits, what are their long-term and short-term habits? Then seasons in the sense, what kind of season is going on? Is it summer? Is it winter? Or is it also seasonal? For example, is it Valentine's Day? Is it Mother's Day? Is it Father's Day? What kind of day is going on? Based on that also we have to set up a persona separately. and then we have certain goals, in the sense the buyer persona, what they want to achieve, what is their goal, what is their actual, when they do a search, we should understand why are they doing a search. So goals of the consumer and problems. So we should also know what are the problems they are facing. And remember this point, whenever you want to start a business, first identify a problem, and then you can actually provide a solution. Without a problem, no one wants to buy something. All right, if you just show me an ad and ask me to buy let's say a jeans or a t-shirt, I'm not going to buy, because I'm not interested in a jeans or a t-shirt. But you see, interesting point, recently when I was browsing Facebook and other networks, what I saw was one ad I saw there, and that ad was a beard straightener. An interesting point, because of I may be watching certain videos, or I may be following certain channels which are related to the beard. So what I saw was a beard straightener ad I saw, and I was like very interesting. I said, "Wow, this is really a great way of targeting," because they know the companies who are selling, who are their buyers. So they are male, and they are people who like beard and who have beard. These are the people, the target audience. So see, buyer persona, if you understand well, you can actually sell the product well. Now, as an assignment, see, a lot of time what happen, if I just tell theory, every one of you will say, "Arey yaar, theory, I am unable to do anything." So let's do a small example of as a practice, as a simple practice. Let us do a small a small example work to just understand how do we set up buyer persona in a very easy and a very simple way. Let us assume that I am going to create, my goal is to set up a buyer persona for a jewelry showroom. Now we have a discussion with 2 or 3 jewelry showrooms. So for a jewelry showroom, we want to set up a buyer persona. So now question is, when I want to set up a buyer persona for a jewelry showroom, now you can come, first of all, let's see the factors which are, is a jewelry showroom our ideal client? Is a jewelry showroom is a good client and a customer for us to work with? Let's see. Understand the business of the client. Now basically, what is the business of client? Generally, we have either an offline selling business or an online selling business, but most of the time you will see companies will go for, most of the companies will be offline selling. Online is just a catalog to attract the customer. So first, is jewelry showroom is a business? Is it? Understand, and you understand the basic, everyone will basically want to buy jewelry for different reasons. Now qualify the client earlier. Now let's see where we'll qualify. Understand the potential of the business. Now think about it, it's a simple way. If you do a project for a jewelry showroom and you got him them one quality lead, let us assume that lead is related to a person who was engaged, a girl or a boy who was engaged, and very soon they are going to be married. Now that potential client you gave to the jewelry showroom, they came to the jewelry showroom. Now can you imagine what is the potential of the business? How much money are they going to spend? Now if you talk about middle class also, I would say easily people will buy at least 50 grams or 100 grams of gold easily. I'm talking about a middle class family. But if you go with a high-end family, they may be buying kgs of gold or silver. That's what the norm is in India, which means that the potential is so high. If I close one good client and give it to my customer, give it to my jewelry showroom client, they can really make out of a great amount of revenue as well as profit from that. That means it's having a great potential online. And sometimes we also have to see whether people are buying online. Is that a potential in that direction? Yes, people are looking for jewelry designs, people are looking for jewelry showroom, people are looking for jewelry designs in Instagram and other networks. Definitely it has an online potential. Then what are the present marketing activities? So I have to know, sir, how do we do marketing right now? So client, I have said, for example, sir, we have a website and that's it, we don't have any other big activities. So we say, okay, fine, sir. So which means you are only in a traditional marketing. So that is again have a potential for us to do. What are the shortfalls? So now the big shortfall is they don't have any activity in digital. So definitely we have to work. And then competitor analysis. So let's say our showroom is, say, 𝗖𝗵𝗴𝗶 Jewelers is a client I'm discussing with. It's not the client, I'm just giving example. Then what I will do is, when I'm discussing with this client, then I will see the competitors. What is 𝗖𝗵𝗴𝗶 Jewelers doing? What is say for example, 𝗙់ощ is doing, what is Tanishq doing, what is this big names are doing in this industry. So I will know their competition, I will know their strategies in the various networks to understand their approach, understand their concept, and then I will qualify the client, and I will say, by seeing all these aspects, I will know client can really make money, I know that client has a potential. Then I will give a budget to the client, so this is what we need to do, this is the time it will take for us to set up the campaign. So client will say, absolutely fine, I'm okay with that budget, because as I said, that's what qualifying a client is very crucial. If you take a client who cannot pay you, or who cannot pay as per the requirement of the project, then you will not work wholeheartedly, you cannot work fully committed, because you have to again take other projects to work. So for that reason, you have to define the, you have to set the price. And also a very important point I have learned from a lot of digital marketers as well as business speakers, they say people pay for the value you provide, not for the time. So remember this point. So if you provide value, people are ready to pay you that amount of money as per the value you deliver, but not for your time. That's why if you see, you go to a doctor, you're not paying him for the time. You say, for example, he's checking up something and is doing some small test or checkup. He will charge you 5,000 in half an hour, but you'll pay. You're not paying them for half an hour time. You're paying him for the value he's providing to you. That is your health, which is a very valuable thing. So like this, you have to set up the, have to understand the example analysis, whether the client is feasible or not feasible, whether the client has potential or no potential to work with. And then I want to show you the buyer persona. So now let us do a small exercise. You can just pause the video now here itself, and you can also type in your laptop or in your mobile. What you do is set up a buyer persona. You can do it. I'll just give you a few minutes of time, and you can just pause. I will not pause the video, but you can pause, and now you can take 1 or 2 minutes and design the buyer persona. All right, now let's come back. So if you have set up the buyer persona like this, which the buyer persona would look like this, generally what people will set: gender, female, and age. They will say, boss, age, who will wear jewelry most commonly, some may write 20 to sir 60 or 60 plus, whatever it may be, because in India every age group people have are fond of jewelry. So age 20 to 60 plus. All right, then what is the next thing, sir? You say, sir, what next? Everyone wears the jewelry. But see, that is where the problem is. We should never set up our buyer persona. If you set your buyer persona like this, then it's 100% going to fail. You cannot achieve any results from this buyer persona, because you are actually targeting a very broad audience. Because buyer persona doesn't want you to set up broad audience, it wants a niche audience, so that exclusively to that audience only you can target. For example, I would say, instead of doing this, I would say gender male, age equal to 20 to 25. Then I would say occupation, because I said a lot of aspects: education, occupation, and all that stuff. Professional, we can take personal details, we can take professional details, we can take their location details, we can take their income details, all right, their financial details. You can consider to build. Gender is female, age is 20 to 25, occupation is student. Now when we know that student, so they not have the money of their own in general, so what happens here? So they may be asking their parents to get the product or the jewelry for them. So what we do here, instead of directly targeting this person, we have to, okay, now what kind of jewelry they like. You see, the type, their interest will not be traditional wear. They will be looking for trend, right? They will be looking for fashion. All right, they will be looking for cool jewelry, not for boring old model jewelry. So this is their interest, will be trending, interest will be fashion, interest will be cool jewelry. That is one example of buyer persona. Now for them, we can set up articles, we can write articles, we can do social media posts which highlight only, which are attractive to that audience group only. Only that audience group will like that article or that. Example, you may write a content writing strategy, and you say, top 10 trending top 10 trending jewelry in India in 2020. Now most of the students will definitely open that article. So this is one example. Now I can take, this is I'll say be a buyer persona 1. Buyer persona 1. Likewise, now I can also set. Now, see, this is one buyer persona. Now, let me show you more very interesting buyer persona here. Buyer persona 2, I will say female, but I will write here 25 to 30, and I would say occupation student, not student really, working, or no, graduate, whatever it may be. They may be working or they are in home. Now I would say interest is basically they are interested in you know wedding planners or decorators, photographers, okay, matrimonial websites, etc., etc., is their interest. So immediately you know that these people are interested in wedding. So which means when they are interested in wedding, they want a different kind of product. So this buyer persona completely changes. Now similarly, now assume add one more buyer persona, same properties, but here we will add one extra feature, that is their marital, their status or a relationship status. So I will make the relationship status engage, and believe me, this will totally change the aspect of our marketing. What happens is the moment they are engaged, we know 100%, they may be 100%, we know for certainty is there that they will be getting married. So they need lot of jewelry for different kinds of things. So that way you have to set up the buyer persona. Now I will show you interesting buyer persona which you will really like. Okay, so fourth one, I would say not male, female, but male. And age group, I will keep it as 25 to, let's say, 40 or 45 also, but 40, 25 to 40. And the occupation is the person is working or the person has a business. All right. And then his interest is nothing. All of this is not, he's not interested in this. But here is the interesting point. Now let's take in certain, now see, some buyer persona we create, we can only do marketing in some areas, not in all areas. So let's say gender is male, age is 25 to 40, occupation is working in business, and very important thing is his relationship is basically married or engaged. Generally married, that would be best option, but I want to add one very interesting option here, and the option is in his life events. Now here we want to take one very interesting factor, and the factor is I would not want to set it the life event. What is his life event right now is undergoing is, I would say this person is going to have his anniversary in next 30 to 90 days. He has anniversary, and Facebook know everything about you. When did you got married, when did you have child? Facebook knows about all that because many people update this on their profile. So Facebook, generally Facebook, Insta, and many networks know about this behavior. So now what we can do is only to this working audience landing page. Our focus of the landing page is to show some very interesting setup. Let's say anniversary. Now the point is, what is our goal here is the moment the person sees this ad, he will immediately connect. Okay, right now it's very thanks, he may thank Facebook, he say, boss, thanks very much, I know you reminded me that I have an anniversary. It is possible. So the thing is, a lot of male forget their anniversary. Facebook will is buyer persona. Is you have to plan. Sometimes you have to be think out of the box. You cannot just go with all the people at the same structure. That doesn't work like that. Go out of the box. Buyer persona has to be very unique. Target a unique person. Like say I want to target this group of people and see how it's going to work for me. So target unique people, target buyer personas which are very, very unique. That way you can create articles, you can write content, you can do social media posts, you can create ebooks only targeting those group of people, and they are so relevant that they will immediately get converted in terms of business. That is why buyer persona is one of the critical part of our strategy, of our marketing campaign and marketing building concept. So I hope you understood and you have got the clear understanding of the two topics of our discussion. One is know the company, understand the potential and business, and second thing is how to set up a buyer persona, how to define a client buyer persona, so that later on we are going to use this data to develop our plan of action, to implement our plan of action. So I hope you enjoyed this session. So as I will be making sessions short and multiple sessions, as I said. So here's the whole topic of digital strategy I will cover in 2 to 3 videos. So you can you'll be stay tuned to watch the next video as well. So this is the basic idea, that whenever we talk about our business digital strategy, the first important aspect is know the company in detail, and number two is define the buyer persona. So this is the part of our digital marketing strategy development for business growth. And I request you, if you like the video, please like, and also you can comment and you can ask questions in the comment, and definitely will respond to every comment. With any questions are there, I respond to every individual comments myself. And also you can subscribe to our channel and share it on your social media, so that our channel can get the popularity and the visibility in the digital marketing space. Thank you very much.